Hi everybody, it's Gloria here with our brand new Slack group, which I have lovingly named Self-Fluence, like influence, but Self-Fluence, and I'll tell you about it actually in our core beliefs. But what I wanted to do is just get a quick video for a little bit of how to maneuver in and around our Slack group, and then kind of some things, some tips that we can follow and what we want to put in each of the different channels, how we want to request posts for content and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and take you into our Slack group. Okay, so the first thing that I'd like for you to take a look at now, in the general, I'm getting the kind of our core beliefs reviewed right now, and in the general channel, it's going to be pinned right here, so you can just click on it and view on pinned items. Now, you'll be able to see that the Slack group is going to be a pinned item, and then what we can do is, like you can see right here, one pinned item, you go here, all right, and then we've got, I actually did the virtual meeting where I recorded it the other day, so I put that in there. So there'll be more pinned items. We've got a list of the members that you can see here, and then any shared files. You've got your notification preferences here, and I think this is really important because what you want to do is, and that kind of takes me to up here. So first thing is, go ahead and check out in each of the channels that there might be some pinned items, and go ahead and check those out. Now, we will have, in addition to the video, probably on Monday, we're going to have the core beliefs. It'll be a PDF. It'll be a link to it on a Google Drive, basically, and you'll be able to read kind of the core belief and then some tips and stuff. It's just really what the group, the reason why I created the group, and the purpose of it and how we can get the most of it and stuff like that. So one of the ways that we can get the most of it is if you click on your name, you can see that I've got the green going. That means I'm available. Now, you don't have to be available all the time. You can set your notifications to show that you're not around. But what's really great is if you're like in front of your computer and you're doing work on your computer, like I'm always on my computer, right? So that's why you see with the little green button always active. And if you've got a mobile phone, you can set this up to get notifications so you never miss a message. But if you don't care if you miss messages or not, then feel free to kind of toggle this on and off. And how you can do that is if I just double clicked or just clicked on my name, I can set my status right here. You can be available. You can have the green button, but you can say, I'm in a meeting, or I'm out and about, or I'm vacationing, or you basically, you can set your status in different ways. All right. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and let me see right here, you can go ahead and set your time, which is your set yourself to away. So I'm available now. So if I wanted to set myself to away, say it's it's going to be on the weekend and stuff like that, it's setting myself to away is going to be this little green, this little white little circle here, this clear circle. All right, now if I wanted to go ahead and set myself back to available, then I would just go here, and then I would click on basically my status, and I would where is it? It would be set myself to active. Okay, so I go ahead and just set myself to active right here, and then you can go ahead and do some of your preferences, and this has a lot to do with notification preferences and stuff like that. So I went and I clicked on preferences, and you can kind of set your notifications, and so you can be basically, you can go ahead and it'll say how your screen appears. If you just wanted to do notifications, like I had it on advanced, you can go ahead and say notify me about all new messages, notify me of direct messages. So I'm going to go ahead and I can do that one. All messages I'm going to get notified of, or you can say I don't want to be notified of anything, And then you can say notify me about replies to threads that I'm following. You can actually, if someone mentions a keyword, like say if someone mentioned the virtual networking group or something like that, and you want to be notified of that, or if you wanted to be notified of anything, like say somebody mentions LinkedIn, you can do that. You can set it to where it'll go ahead and put the automatic do not disturb for different hours. So this is like 10 p.m. to 7 p.m., 7 a.m., and you can do the time zone basically. You can go ahead and set sounds and appearances, and you can tell it, hey, if I've not been around, then send notifications someplace else. Channel specific notifications. So there's really a lot of things you can do. All right, and then you can kind of go through and change the sidebar, all that type of stuff, messages and media. Mostly what we're going to be doing is we won't be uploading directly into Slack. We'll probably be, like linking to like a Google Docs and stuff like that, linking to a YouTube video and things like that. So that's how we would go ahead and set our preferences. And again, it's really important because it's really hard to talk to somebody when they're not at home, right? It's really hard. So this way, and it's not that, like we're all going to be bothering you all the time or anything. It's just, just to let us know, hey, you're there, you're open to take any questions or comments or something like that. All right, and I think that's really, really helpful. You don't have to be around all the time. You don't have to worry, you don't have to worry that, me or anybody else is going to be constantly pinging you, picking your brain, asking you for stuff, sucking you dry, basically. That's not how this goes, right? So it's just, we're here. Okay, so that's enough about that. So the general, really the general channel is for general announcements. And again, normally you can see I've done at everyone because I want everyone to be notified for things that, especially in the beginning, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of at everyone, only because I want to make sure that, nobody gets left in the dark. Everybody has all the information that they need. I do have a little segment in my marketing automation active campaign called Slack, to distribute information. But to be truthful, I'm probably going to shy away from that somewhat because I want to kind of, let us all use Slack instead of communicating by email, which defeats the purpose of Slack, right? So if there's something that's like mega important or something like that, I'll probably communicate the meetings and stuff like that. So we've got the general, that's just kind of general information. And then influencer marketing. Now this is interesting because, a part of our core beliefs, and for any of you guys that have kind of watched the video that we did our Monday virtual video, our very first virtual networking video meeting, is that, there's going to be power in us promoting our stuff, collectively. And once you read the core principles, you'll see, let's say, for example, I've got, say, 3,000 LinkedIn first level connections. I've got, 1,000 Twitter followers. I've got a couple hundred Facebook friends. All right. And I just did a video and I want to get that out because I want to get people to see it, or I just wrote a blog post and I want people to see it. By me doing that, I'm only going to have so much of a distribution. But if we collectively did that, like say, for example, me or somebody, put that video in here, the link, and said, hey, can you guys promote through your social channels? And really, it's just a matter of sharing, right? Liking and sharing or whatever. You can see that what automatically happens by the power of the group is that piece of content that we have is going to get shared just like we were like this major influencer, because there's power in numbers. And so that's kind of one of the biggest things that you'll see immediately the results from that sharing. And I can tell you with 100% confidence, I'm paying $49 a month to a company called Blog Pros, and they share my content, you know, for my blog link Sherpa. It's like, you know, 50 to 80 shares per blog post. And, you know, that's my $49 a month. Now I can do, you know, like if I posted like one per day, you know, then they would share that. I think they have a maximum 2 per day. But, you know, my point is I'm paying $49 a month. I'm only getting 50 shares, 50 to 80 shares per piece of content. Now, you know, we can do that collectively on steroids, you know, like multiplied 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. It'll get more and more as the group grows, okay? So anytime you want for us to share something, then what'll happen is, and we're going to kind of, I don't want to say limit, that's the wrong word, but have it like Mondays, you know, right in around our meeting time is a good time for us to go ahead and share and distribute the content, because you know, we want to kind of balance this where I mean, I put out a lot of content, and I in no way would want to, you know, just every piece of content, you know, 24/7, hey, now share this, hey, now share this, hey, now share this. I don't think that's fair. And likewise, you know, for all of us, we kind of want to use our, you know, common sense for it, really. Like, say you do local marketing for somebody, or you've got 20 Amazon stores, then it's not going to be fair for you to go ahead and you added a new product to all of your Amazon stores, you know, for us to constantly share those links out. You know, we have to balance it, right? We kind of have to balance common sense and use the rule, what would I like to have, you know, how would I like to be treated? You know, and that's how I'm going to treat others. That's how I always try to operate anyway. So that's what the influencer marketing is going to be. On Mondays, part of the structure of the part of the structure of the virtual meeting is going to be, you know, put your content links in the influencer marketing tab, and then, you know, while all of us are together and we can think about it, then we can go ahead and start sharing it just right there. It just takes a few minutes, right? So that's kind of how we want to do it. It does have to be a link, like it does really need to be like a squeeze page or a website, a blog post, a video. If you want us to share a tweet, reshare a tweet, or reshare a LinkedIn post, and I'll talk about the potential power of LinkedIn posts more than any other social channel out there, really, and I'll share with you how that actually works. Literally how you can get hundreds of thousands of eyeballs on it through the power of this influencer, this self-fluencer marketing that we're doing. So if you have like a tweet or a post, what I recommend with those is you can do a hashtag and then a unique hashtag, and we can search for it via hashtag, or you can just drop the link to that particular post in here, and then we can pick it up, and then we can, you know, further distribute it, like it, all that type of stuff. So that's kind of the influencer marketing one. Also, if you, like Rebecca did, I think this is fantastic. If you want us to, you know, follow you and connect with you on the different platforms, go ahead and put those in, and then let us go ahead and you know, connect with you there, basically. So we can do that as well. Okay, so now to the JV channel. So if you want to, you know, say you do one component of your business really, really well, or you're finding that in some areas you know you need help with, and you don't mind doing some type of, you know, split, however that looks. That's between you guys. I don't need to know about it. I really don't care about it. I just, you know, ask that it be done honestly and ethically. Then this is where you would want to go ahead and, you know, kind of shout out, like, say you're just putting the word out, hey, I'm looking for a JB to help me, you know, with X. All right, and then you can kind of give descriptions about what you're looking for. The people that are interested are going to show up, right? They're definitely going to show up. So that's what that is for. This channel's for is for you guys to kind of form your own JBs, your own relationships, You know, build your business however you can. We want to kind of balance this. We don't, you know, one of the things that I absolutely hate about all of the other groups out there is that they're just kind of like these big self-promo fests, basically, that people are just constantly dropping their affiliate links and all that type of stuff. And that really only works so much. You know, it's a numbers game. Like, you'll get someone that'll go, oh yeah, I happen to be looking for that. But if we focus on building real relationships in here, being real, being genuine, and really helping each other out, the business is absolutely going to flow. I can't tell you how that has really been, you know, kind of revealed to me lately, as evidenced by how I'm interacting with people, you know, socially on LinkedIn and stuff like that. I'm actually kind of blown away. And I'll tell you about that on, you know, future meeting or something. But so if we do that and just we're genuine, those opportunities are going to come automatically. People are going to see that. They're going to be able to look through, you know, all of the, oh, they're just a big self-promoter, and see what you actually have to offer and what you're about. That is going to shine through, and those that have a need are going to be attracted to that, right? So this is the channel for the JVs. Enough of me ranting there. Sorry. All right, on to mindset. So with mindset, you know, I mentioned this in that very first meeting, is that I really have to work hard on my mindset, because, and I think, you know, I don't think I'm that unusual or, you know, that twisted in my brain or anything, but I honestly think that we are literally bombarded every day by all of this, you know, this information out there, some not so positive, some positive. We have to kind of look for the positive. Most of it is negative. And that kind of can, you know, that gunk can get in there unless, for me, I make a conscious effort of removing it and replacing it with more positive stuff. And so I'm a big believer in the whole mindset thing. I really try to keep my mind in check, you know, how I'm perceived, but how I operate in the world, how I treat people, the way that I want to be treated, you know, those types of things. Just try to focus on being a real giver, those types of things. And this is the place to do that with mindset. So yeah, if you are reading something cool, if you are you know, if some like epiphany came to you that is, you know, something, you know, that you felt was really like, wow, that's kind of profound. Why didn't I realize that sooner? Then feel free to share it in here, because I think that's really, really important for us to learn, and we can all learn and grow from each other's experiences like that. So that's what the mindset thing is for, is, you know, if there's, you know, a couple of us that want to kind of have conversations on, you know, mindset or things related to mindset, books that we're reading, videos that we've seen, stuff like that, then this is the place to do it. Now, I realize, like, I put in this Frank Kern video called Core Influence. I actually need to move it over to mindset because it has more to do with mindset. The reason why I didn't is because the group is so new that I kind of just wanted to, you know, get the information in there. You can join each of these channels. If you have not joined, then please feel free to join, okay? I tried to add everybody that I could to all of these channels, but if not, then feel free to, you can all join these. All right, so promos. Now you might ask, like, what is the difference between promos versus influencer marketing versus JVs? So I think the influencer marketing is, you know, kind of, if I was to categorize it, it would be more like, you know, specific content. And that content, again, it can be in the form of squeeze pages and stuff like that. Promos, I think, is more of the, you know, the promotional type of stuff. You know, this is where you can do, like, I have this to offer. Do you know anybody that might be looking for this? Or you can promote, you know, other people's stuff. Like for example, this is something that happened to me, and I'm literally just blown away by it. But through my LinkedIn messaging, I had someone actually email me, and they did not need my services, but they said, you know, I'm going to pass your information on to somebody in my mastermind because I really think you guys should connect. I think, there's some benefit there if you guys connect and she could use your services, blah, blah, blah. And I responded back and I said, I was like, yeah, thanks. I'm really looking forward to it. Well, I do. Lo and behold, I get this email from this lady, and she's like, so-and-so speaks so highly of you. I've never met that person before, but I think that is kind of an example of what he did is he kind of even promoted me. You know what I'm saying? And so this would be a good example of that. So say you guys got on, like you have a mastermind and there's somebody in there that just really impacted you and they said, man, they really are good at what they do, and I know somebody or some people in the group need that type of help and assistance, and we currently don't have it in the group. This would be a great example of, you could put that, you could say, hey, here's somebody that I know from XYZ. This is what they do, this is what they're about, here's their information if you want to get in touch with them, something like that. Or if you have something particular, like you can see in here, Rebecca, she says, I'm a JV manager and this is what the current offering is, ping me if you're interested. This is the channel to do that in. Okay, you don't want to hit every channel up and just self-promote your stuff, right? And that way people can pick it up and they can, if they're interested, then they'll go ahead and they'll take a look at it. This does not require us having to take this information and distributing it. Now, if Rebecca wanted to go ahead and get this info out, then she would probably put a link in influencer marketing and then have us kind of, distribute that out. So that would be an example of the difference between influencer marketing and promos. And then virtual networking. So this is where we have our virtual every week, and I think this is really important so that we can really connect. Some of you guys that have been around me for a while know I used to be a therapist. I was a drug and alcohol counselor in the military. I did all sorts of therapy. I ended up doing like group therapy and marital therapy and individual therapy and crisis intervention type of therapy when people were suicidal and all that type of stuff. And what we learned through my years of experience, and also my undergrad was in human services, human behavior, was that groups, there are different stages of group development. Okay, and initially, when you have a brand new group like this currently is a brand new group, that the members of the group, for some reason we decided to get together, but we quite don't know how to operate. What's okay? Is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do that? Is it okay to say this? I mean, what if I say too much? What if I don't say enough? I just don't know what to do. I'm just going to be quiet and, kind of check things out and get the lay of the land, so to speak. That's kind of like the very first step. It's called forming. Okay, the group is kind of forming, the members are we're trying to figure out what is our place in this group, right? And then, not to give you a lesson in this, but what ends up happening is the group finds its way, and so people get comfortable, they feel safe, they start sharing, so that we kind of figure out, okay, this is how I should act in the group. It seems to be okay. That type of thing, right? So there's this process the group goes through. But initially, the group is, we're at this very baby forming stages, if you will. And I think one of the ways that we can kind of, not only bust through that, but we can get to know each other as well. So even, when this group becomes more mature, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, however long, 2 years down the road or whatever, we still are going to have these virtual networking groups, because what will happen is there'll be people coming in all the time. But it's such a great way for us to just really get to know each other, okay? And then to let it be known that, if I say this or do this, it is okay. If I ask for help, it is okay. There are people here to help me. And I have to say, by the way, I am absolutely blown away by the openness, by how people have been willing to help just the camaraderie so far. This may be the honeymoon stage. I don't know. I don't think so. I think, you know, there's just the people who have raised their hands have just been a great group of people. And there's a reason why we all, you know, kind of gravitated to this saying, you know, yeah, this is a good thing that I'm a part of. So the virtual networking group is channel, excuse me, it is basically for those virtual networking events that we have. And right now, because we have people like all over the world, we've settled on Monday afternoon. It's 4 p.m. Central Time, which kind of works for those that are in Australia. We have some in Thailand and Asia, and then we have some across the pond in UK as well. So it seems to be like an okay time for everybody. So we have these meetings. I am going to be pinning a document in this virtual networking group that'll kind of give, you know, a general overview of how the meeting will kind of be facilitated, if you will, so that it isn't like this free-for-all and stuff like that. I do really have a vision for them to be purpose-driven. I want you guys to get something out of these meetings other than, you know, oh, we got to, you know, hang out with our friends and our group members for a week. You know, I want it to kind of be a little more purpose-driven, so I'll be posting something in there about, you know, how we can do that. So I've got a format in mind, and again, it's all up to, I am perfectly okay if someone says, you know, that format, I don't know, it's kind of weird. You know, what, have you thought of trying this? I'm cool with that. I don't have all the answers. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, I think this might work good. Okay. So with that, that's the channels. That's kind of our Slack group right now. I'm going to be adding another virtual networking. This is going to be totally like if you want to go, like if you want to attend. I'm going to call it Freebie Fridays. And for right now, to be truthful with you, the group is really small. So don't feel like, you know, you have to you know, like contribute or facilitate it. But my vision for the Freebie Fridays is for people to kind of take turns, volunteer, take turns, and that is the time that you can kind of share your expertise with people that will attend that way that you can kind of showcase what it is you do. So as people, you know, go, wow, I had no idea that, you know, they did this. That's great. I happen to need those services. Then it's a way for you to, again, get more business. Okay, so I'm gonna probably take just the first couple. It doesn't have to be that way. By all means, if someone wants to say, you know, I want to do a Freebie Friday, why do you get to have all that joy? Let me know. I'm gonna have a sign-up sheet as the group grows. I'm just thinking that where you're going to get a ton of benefit from it is you're going to be, you know, when the group gets to be a couple hundred, say 200, 300, 400, 500, I have visions of this group growing to 1,000 or more basically. And imagine it's like you being able to be on your own webinar, you know, kind of sharing, doing a teaching webinar, and then people being able to see what you do. How is that going to be for your business, right, when you get a bunch of people? So that's pretty much it. That's a LinkedIn, it's not really the LinkedIn Sherpa group. We're calling it Self-Fluence because what we're doing is we're taking, you know, like influencer marketing. What we're doing is we're taking that concept and we're not waiting for each of us to become a big influencer. You know, we may never reach, you know, Neil Patel status, right? Or whoever's out there, Tim Ferriss status, or all the big gurus that have, you know, millions of followers and stuff like that. But what we can do is collectively we can have that same impact on each other's business if we band together on that. So self-fluence, for taking that influencer control, you know, taking it in our own self-control, control basically. Okay, so that is enough of me rambling. That's the video. That's kind of the threads. If you can, you know, tweak your settings for the Self-Fluencer group. We'll see you in Slack.